Hey everyone, just before I begin this episode, I wanted to invite you to a 5-day event. It's the Effective Teaching Conference. It is an online international conference for teachers all over the world. Each day we're going to have 3 to 4 standalone sessions. You don't have to select one session or the other. All the sessions are available to you. They're all recorded and are made available to you as a recording as well if you don't get there live for a week afterwards. So you've got plenty of time to access it. We've got some fantastic people running these sessions. I've got Jay McTee, John Hattie, John Bergman, John Lama, lots of Johns there, Susie Boss, Alice Kim talking about cognitive science stuff, Stephanie Howell and Tara Ruckman talking about controlling the chaos. I've got Jeff Bradbury coming, Eleni Karitsis, Holly Clark, Casey Bell, Kelly Bell, Jen Giffen or Giffen. I've got to learn how to actually say everyone's name properly. Erica Terry is going to talk about entrepreneurship and helping our kids to develop that and to write their own kind of books. I've got Kelly Illich coming and Brennan Lee, as well as myself, presenting on all kinds of topics. You can find out all the information for this conference at teacherspd.net/conference. And this whole 5-day event is actually available to you for just $2. So there's no reason why you wouldn't want to take this up, right? This is a week worth of professional development. You can get certificates and stuff at the end, all for just $2. Get all the details and register at teacherspd.net/conference. Well, now let's get into this episode. Hey, thank you so much for coming and joining me today as we do another episode. Today we're going to be looking at the joy of regular short breaks. Now, there's plenty of research that's gone into, when we should be taking breaks with students, or when, even in work situations, how often should we be having breaks, all that kind of stuff. And there's lots of research now that actually indicates that multiple 5-minute breaks are better than larger single breaks, right? So I think it's better to have really short breaks than to have like a 45 or a 90-minute break. It's better to go short breaks with, it could be shorter sessions as well, but having short breaks is actually really good for our brain. Let's think about our students. So when our students are in our classrooms, they need short, regular breaks for their brain. And so that could be giving them 5-minute breaks every 45 minutes or every 90 minutes, as opposed to doing, like a 15-20-minute break. I mean, we like that we have recess and lunch type lengths of breaks. They do need that kind of ability to have a break and play and everything and actually enjoy life. But even in our lessons, if we're doing 90-minute lessons, it could be good to break that up into 2 45-minute sessions with a 5-minute break in the middle or something like that. I remember at my old school when I was teaching there, I started doing brain breaks with my students in my classroom. I used to do them. I had some really intense kids who struggled to focus for extended periods of time. It was very backed by their diagnoses and by just their behavior and stuff in class. So I purposely went about a process where they would do 20 minutes in class. I would then take them out for 5 minutes. We would play together. We would come back in and get back to work. And I found it quite useful, quite helpful, as long as I was kind of with them. If I let them go off on their break by themselves, they struggled to come back. They were a senior class, so being by themselves was okay. But we then adapted that. I adapted that so that we actually had breaks in my classroom instead. And so I would actually set up systems where we would, after 20 minutes or 40 minutes or whatever, I would actually go, all right, we're going to have a 5-minute break. And that break could be something that just was fun, or it could be something that was even linked, like even doing like a Kahoot or some kind of like exciting, fun quiz type thing that wasn't necessarily specific to what we were learning, but it was just fun. Really allowed my students to have that break, to disengage for a second and then come back to what they were doing. Obviously, this comes with some judgment about whether or not the students are kind of in a flow of work. If you happen to be in a class where the students are all quiet and they're working really hard and they're focused on stuff and they're researching and they're thinking big thoughts, let them be, right? Let them do that. But if you can see that you're about to transition something going on in your class, you can go, all right, let's have a 5-minute break. Let's play this game. Let's play, like, there's lots of like get to know you games, lots of things that you can do with your students that are fun and exciting for them, that allows them to actually do better when they're learning. The other thing we need to do is think about ourselves as teachers. We need to give ourselves short, regular breaks. So ways to do this are to make sure that maybe rather than like if it's, let's say, scheduling meetings across the school or you're organizing something, make the meeting a 25-minute meeting or a 50-minute meeting rather than a half hour or an hour. We tend to think about sections of time by half hours or hours. And so if there's 5 minutes left over at the end, that's kind of 5 minutes for them to kind of just do nothing, or for us to do nothing, for us to go for a walk, for us to walk between the meeting and back to where we need to be and have that kind of break as we walk. There's lots of ways that we can build this in. It is important, even for us, like I talked about flow before. Flow is that state that you're getting when you're kind of in the zone and you're really clearly focused and you're working really well and clearly, and you're getting lots done, right? Those times you don't want to interrupt yourself. But if you're coming towards the end of that, a break can be fantastic, just to allow your brain to kind of refresh itself before it needs to be used again. It could be great for going between lessons. Like if you've got this 6-period day, you can give yourself a break by actually scheduling a break at the end of each of your periods where you're going to do something fun with your kids just before they leave. And that just enables your brain to just chill and relax and enjoy a bit of time before it has to kick back into gear and get the next lesson started and on task and managing your students. There's just so many ways to do this, but regular short breaks, so good for our brains, just refreshes us, helps us to stay focused, helps us to be alert, and then building that in for us, building it in for our students so that we can help all of us to really be focused when we're working and to get lots of really great work done. Important for us to make sure we're not interrupting our state of flow if we get into that, but generally speaking, great time to find any time, 5 minutes, all you need to take a short break. You'll find that you'll actually catch that 5 minutes of work up later when you're not yelling at your kids, trying to get them to be quiet, trying to get them to stay focused, trying to get them to sit still. If you just go, do you know what, you guys clearly need a break, let's take 5 minutes, let's do this, let's do that, and then bring them back after that, and you'll find they'll actually be much better able to focus, and you will also be better if you are giving yourself those kinds of breaks. Well, I hope that was helpful for you. And as we round up, I'm going to tell you again, please check out the online International Effective Teaching Conference. It is happening in January from the 16th to the 20th in terms of like Australian time. If you're in the US or anywhere else really, except for maybe New Zealand, it's going to be on the 15th to the 19th. But there's 3 to 4 sessions a day, fantastic session presenters, runners. Just come and check it out. It's at TeachersPD.net/conference. It's going to be fantastic. It's got some amazing people there, and I think that you will absolutely get your money's worth. It's $2, right? I'll give you your money's back if you think that you didn't get $2 worth of PD out of it. But there are just amazing sessions. So come and join me for a 5-day, stuff. It's all recorded. You can get access to it later. TeachersPD.net/conference. I can't wait to see you and to do a week's worth of learning with you.